They said the desert was empty. No villages, no hostels, no reason to be afraid. But on the 4th day of patrol, we found them. A line of rusted trucks and armored carriers half buried in dunes. No markings, no survivors, and yet the radio in the first truck was still hissing with voices. Not from now, from a war that ended 50 years ago. We were a peacekeeping unit sent to guard a stretch of forgotten border. The days were silent, the kind of silence that makes your thoughts feel loud. It was Private Green who spotted the first vehicle, a lump of corroded steel jutting from the sand like a ribcage. As we approached, we realized it wasn't alone. 1, 2, 6, 8 of them stretching far into the desert in a crooked line. Rusted troop carriers, trucks with cracked windshields, an old tank leaning at an awkward angle. The paint was sun-bleached to grey. The insignias were gone, worn away by decades of storms. Every door was shut tight, like the drivers had parked and walked away. But there were no footprints, no bodies. Captain Havel gave the order to sweep the convoy. The first thing I noticed was the heat. Inside those vehicles, it should have been an oven. But when I opened the hatch to the nearest carrier, a cold draft slid past my face. My breath fogged in front of me. It was dim inside, but I could make out seats, straps, and faded gear still hanging from hooks. A helmet rolled across the floor, stopping at my boot. I picked it up. The inside was damp, and then the radio in the front cabin came alive. A burst of static, followed by a voice, clipped, urgent, speaking in a language I didn't know. But it didn't sound like a recording. It sounded like someone was right there, transmitting in real time. Sergeant Wilkes came over the comms. You hear that too? We all did. The strange thing was each vehicle's radio was broadcasting something different. In one, it was marching orders. In another, panicked shouting, the sound of gunfire in the background. The tank was worst of all. Its radio emitted this low, constant hum, like a massive swarm of insects. Private Green swore he heard a voice whispering his name through it. That night, we camped just far enough to keep the convoy in sight. The wind never stopped. It didn't sound like normal desert wind. It carried faint metallic rattles, like chains dragging across the sand. At 2:17, I woke to the sound of boots crunching nearby. I thought it was one of our guys on watch, but the figure walking past wasn't wearing our gear. The helmet was rounder, the rifle older, the uniform torn and sun-bleached. And when I called out, the man turned toward me. His face was buried in shadow, but his jaw hung open far too wide. Then he kept walking, right into the dunes. The next morning, Cream was gone. No footprints led away from his sleeping bag. No signs of struggle. Just gone. Captain Havel ordered a full sweep. We found his rifle propped against the tank, safety off. Next to it, in the sand, were his dog tags, resting on top of the surface as if someone had placed them there. That's when the radios changed. Every single one began broadcasting the same thing, a deep, rhythmic thumping. It was slow at first, like a heartbeat, then faster, louder, and underneath it, faint screams. We tried to leave. I drove the lead jeep, following our GPS out of there. The convoy shrank in the rearview mirror. But when I blinked, the same rusted trucks were in front of us again. We turned north. Same thing. East. Same thing. The desert had folded around us. By nightfall, the sand had begun swallowing the convoy even more. The trucks were now buried up to their windows, and there were more of them. I counted 15 the first day. Now there were at least 20. Some looked newer, some older, from different eras entirely. Wilkes swore he saw his grandfather's wartime jeep among them. His hands wouldn't stop shaking after that. At midnight, the voices started again, louder now, yelling at us to take positions to hold the line. None of us understood the language, but the meaning felt carved into our skulls. I saw movement inside the nearest carrier, dark silhouettes pressed against the frosted glass, banging their fists against it. The doors groaned as if straining to open. The sand beneath my boots began to vibrate. By dawn, only 3 of us were left: Havel, Wilkes, and me. The convoy was now encircling our camp in a perfect ring. Vehicles from 100 different wars, all half buried, their radios screaming. Wilkes broke first. He ran toward the nearest truck, shouting something I couldn't hear over the static. He climbed inside, slammed the door, and the glass frosted over instantly. His shape froze in place behind it. Havel and I tried to dig him out. The sand swallowed the tires faster than we could move it. Then a hand, pale, shaking, missing 2 fingers, pressed against the glass from inside. It wasn't Wilkes's hand. I don't remember falling asleep, but I woke to find I was alone. The sun was low and the convoy was silent. Every door was closed again, and in the center of the ring where our camp had been, there was now another vehicle. A rusted Jeep, my Jeep, half buried in sand. The driver's seat was empty. Passenger's seat wasn't. If anyone finds this recording, don't approach the convoy. Don't touch the radios. Whatever you do, don't listen when they call your name.